Hi, it's Wick Nixon here from Wicked Wellbeing, and I'm all about healthy eating made easy. And a couple of weeks ago, I did a Facebook post that just went absolutely nuts, and I made my own butter out of. I was actually at the supermarket, mentioned to my husband commented on the price of a pound of butter, and a local guy a guy who worked at Pack and Save was standing there, and he said, "Why don't you try making your own?" I was like, "Is it that easy?" And he said, "Yes, it super is." So I bought 500 mils of butter and made it, and what I didn't do was I didn't take the weight, so I didn't know if it was actually cheaper to make your own. So what I've done today is taken because it's a wet and rainy day outside, so I thought it's perfect time to make butter. So I grabbed a 500 mils of cream, and then what you do is you put it into a jar and shake it. So you shake it for about 10-15 minutes until it turns into a thick butter. And you need to have a jar big enough so that it expands, and because obviously it goes to whipped cream first and then it turns into the butter. Then you keep on shaking it until the buttermilk appears, and you actually get quite a lot of buttermilk. But I'm going to flip the camera around to show you what I've made. But today's experiment was to find out, is it actually cheaper to make your own? And the answer is no. It's actually more expensive, which is really unfortunate because it's such a cool experiment, but it just doesn't add up. So I'm going to flip you around and just show you what I've done. So I've got to go down here. So I took a 500 mils, having some issues, just had some issues connecting, 500 mils of cream, and then whipped it into that jar, put a lid on and shook it for about, and connected, and then shook that for about 10 to 15 minutes, and that's the buttermilk that came off it. And then this is the cream. Now the weigher has turned off, but that cream made 220 grams of butter. Hi Diane, nice to have you here. I'm just showing you an experiment of making your own butter and to find out if it's actually cheaper to make your own. Now I'll flip you back. So 500 mils made 225 grams of butter, and if you so working that out, 500 grams of butter is over $7. It's about $7.60, so a pound of butter for us at the supermarket that I go to is about $5.70. So it's actually not cheaper, but it's a really cool experiment for the kids to see how butter is made. And it's beautiful and creamy. You do have to make sure at the end that you do rinse off the buttermilk. So run it through, after you've drained off the buttermilk, run it through some icy cold water a couple of times. That's the butter. And you get rid of the excess buttermilk, which can actually make the butter go rancid. So rinsing it off is a really important process, which I've just discovered. So there you have it. It's not cheaper to make your own, but it's a really cool experiment for the kids, and the butter is absolutely beautiful. So Diane, really awesome idea to go and make with your kids. Have a great school holidays, and I'll catch up with you soon. See ya.